I'm Dave Jacka, and in this video I want to talk about a new lathe I just purchased and what I'm doing to modify it. So you can come over here. So this is the bed of the Quadriplegic Regent lathe that I have just purchased, and I've got all the other bits and pieces, the headstock, tailstock, all in the workshop here, but before I assemble it I need to modify it. Now my other lathe, the previous lathe that I've got, is around about 37 years old. It was very old and quite clunky to use, so I decided to upgrade just so I can do bigger work, plus also it's going to be a lot more precise. So for some of the things I want to do, I can use the drill bits to drill in and do other bits and pieces. So like anything that I want to do, if I'm getting a new piece of equipment, I've got to modify it. With my disability, I rarely can buy something off the shelf and then hop into it. So as with the lathe, as you can see, it's quite high and much higher than what I can use. If I try to use this as it is, my arm's going to be up here, which is very uncomfortable and makes it really hard to control the tools. So what I'm going to do, I need to be able to bring the bring the bed down to just above my knee height. So what I'm going to be doing is cutting the legs down. So I've taken some measurements. I've worked out that I need around about 163 millimeters to be taken off these legs, which is around about that position there. So it's a big chunk off it. So once I cut the legs down, I'll be putting a piece of angle along the bottom to brace the feet, and then I've got these little adjustable feet that I'll be installing underneath, one under each leg, so then I can then adjust the lathe to the specific height that I need. And okay, and so tomorrow I'm taking this down, we're going to get it modified, and next time I speak to you we should be ready to go to assemble it and talk more about it. See you then. Hi everyone, we're back. It's been a little bit of time, been a couple of months, but I've finally got the lathe modified and it has come up beautifully. So I'd love to show you what I've done and talk a bit more about the lathe and how it works. Okay, so come with me. So here we have the lathe all fully assembled and modified. So first I'd like to talk a bit about the modifications, what I've done, and also then why I selected this lathe, about some of the features, which is really good and suits me really well. So the lathe itself, what I've done, as I mentioned previously, the lathe is too high, so I've cut the legs down, and basically I've cut the legs off, the bottom of the legs off, installed a big piece of metal angle, and we've attached the adjustable footrest feet, so I can raise the lathe up to the required height for myself. And the reason why I did this is because I needed this banjo to be able to come just over the top of my knees like that. So this tool rest, or the banjo, just clears my knees, and that allows me to actually be able to move this around without, without hitting my knees, and it gives me a bit more flexibility. And the reason why I've lowered this is because normally at the normal set height, it's just too high for me, and it's very difficult trying to use the chisels when you're up at this big angle. So I prefer the lathe down more at my level. It just gives me more control and it makes it a lot easier for me to use the tool rest. Now the other big modification I've done is installing this swing away outrigger. And the reason why I have this is because I find with this machine I can rotate the motor around, so it comes out perpendicular to the main lathe bed, where normally it's facing that way. And so by having this additional outrigger here, which means I can work from this position, so right at the end, or even come around to the side. So what I can do here, I can get my tool rest and I can work this way from this position if I want, and also from the side. So it makes it much more versatile, and also it allows me to be able to get right into the lathe, so I can actually get close to the wood that's spinning, so I get a lot more control. Because when you have your arms right out too far, you don't have much control at all. Now the beauty about this outrigger here is that this swings out also. Swing it right out there, and so when I need to get in close to change the chuck or to attach my workpiece or take it off, yeah, I can get in nice and close. It makes it a lot easier. Now the main reason why I bought this lathe is because it was modifiable. I could easily cut the legs down, but secondly, it's got a few features that a lot of other lathes don't have, and which really suit me. And the main reason why I bought this lathe is that this head spins around. And I'll show you how this works. Yep. So it's quite easy to adjust the motor here. So I take my little tool, put it on here, loosen the head off, like that. Then this allows me to slide, the head rotates right around. So I can slide this, turn this motor right around like that, and the motor also can slide back on the bed. So, okay, I'll do it this way. And it slides back like this way. So that allows me to be able to work from this angle, and also when I'm doing any spindle work, I can then turn between centres. And when I'm turning this way, that's why I've got a second banjo here, so then I can utilise this thing, this tool rest, when I'm turning between centres. So look at this light here, that's just magnetic, and I can remove that out of the way. Also, everything on this lathe is quite easy to move. You know, what I find is some of the lathes, some of the really big ones, they're just too heavy. Where this lathe is actually nice and easy, and I can generally move it quite easily. The only thing, it does have a few little things you can do, so you can just slide this nice and easy out the way. And everything on here is very easy to use, especially for me. So yeah, so it's very functional. And one of the other reasons why I got this lathe is it has the control box, which is magnetic, and I can move this around. Because when I'm operating this lathe, working in different positions, if you don't have the controls near you, it just makes it very difficult. You don't want to be reaching over your work, and then you know, with the risk of, you know, catching your arm on some spinning, when you're spinning timber. And so I bought this lathe for one of the main reasons that it had a relocatable control panel. where a lot of other lathes don't. They have them on top of the motors, and I find that they're just up too high, and I can't use it without because my fingers don't work. So, so there's some of the things that I had to consider, and why I chose this lathe over other ones that are on the market. Also, this lathe it's not the most expensive. It's probably one of more of your middle range lathes. It's still quite good. It's a very good lathe, runs very well. I'll just show you. Now, one of the disadvantages with this lathe is that the main bed is quite short. So one of the issues is trying to get between these legs here. And so when I'm turning between centers this way, I find that I don't have a lot of space for my wheelchair to get between the legs. So my chair does fit in here. I do have enough space, but it would be nicer if it was a little bit longer. And but unfortunately, this lathe only comes in this size. It's quite compact, which makes it even good for if you've got space limitations. But if I had my choice, I wouldn't mind the bed probably another couple of 100 mil longer, just so it gives me a bit more space between the feet, between the legs. And so, but that's just some of the, that's probably about the only drawback I find with this lathe, for my situation at least anyway. But a lot of other people might turn and get their knees under the lathe, so the lathes can be up a lot higher. So it really just all comes down to what your preference is and what works for you. So I hope you found this video useful. I'm Dave Jacka, and I'll see you in my next one.